Good morning. My name is Floyd Marinescu, and I run an 8-figure global business based in Canada. We're here today to present the government with this letter because we believe that basic income is important to the future of our economy. Copies of this letter are in your media kits and can be seen at ceosforbasicincome.ca, along with a list of the signatories. I hope you'll read it. Today represents the first time that a group of business leaders have come together to tell the public that basic income is an economic need in the 21st century. We are not celebrities like Elon Musk, Richard Branson, or Mark Zuckerberg, who endorse basic income. The signatories of our letter represent nearly all sectors of the Canadian economy, from retail to artificial intelligence, with average revenues with each company in the group of about $13 million a year. These are people who will probably pay a greater share of taxes if a basic income is launched. Yet we still support it for the reasons outlined in the letter. The objective of this effort is for Premier Ford to decide to continue the pilot so that we can all learn from it. Regardless of whether you are for or against the idea, Ontarians deserve a debate informed by this research. We hope the Canadian public comes to understand that basic income is a fundamental economic imperative, not just a matter of social assistance. There are structural changes working their way through the economy that are affecting work and depressing wages. This is a critical issue for the middle class as well as for everyone in our society. In the letter we delivered to Premier Ford, we state unequivocally that a basic income would grow the economy and create jobs. That is good economics. It's good for business and it's good for the people of Ontario. We 100 CEOs, therefore, are joining 1,000 economists who in 1968 signed a letter endorsing a version of a basic income in the United States. My father and uncle lost their jobs in Ontario's manufacturing sector in the early 2000s when China entered global supply chains. We simply couldn't compete with labor that costs 1/10 what we do. They had no idea this was coming, and I remember them encouraging me when I was in high school to become a tool and die maker because society will always need more metal parts. As is the case for people whose jobs have been displaced, both were never able to find jobs earning as much as they had or putting the skills that they had to use. Today we're seeing a version of this story playing out again and again throughout our economy because of the trends outlined in the letter. We are here to tell you that basic income is about revitalizing the economy. It's not about putting people to work, it's about the future of work. The economy is trending towards a low-income society for many of us, and that is a threat to us all. A basic income is a way to grow the economy and enhance our self-reliance, respect, and confidence. If you listen to experts talking about the potential impacts of artificial intelligence on jobs, you'll likely hear some disagreement. Firstly, no one is predicting a lot of high-paying jobs. The debate seems squared between whether half of all jobs will be lost outright or whether there will simply be a lot more jobs because of the productivity created, but they'll mostly be low-paying jobs. In the past 30 years, we can already see this trend of displacement and replacement with lower-skilled work in Ontario and in all Western economies. We may very well be facing a society where the bottom 60 to 80% of us are facing poorer living conditions, while the top 20 to 40% have all of the opportunity. We know countries like that, and they're not the Canada that we want to see. Globalization means people are now facing greater global competition than my father or uncle ever did. The internet is changing which jobs need to be localized. I personally know a dozen solopreneurs, super small businesses, who have virtual assistants in the Philippines charging $4 to $8 an hour. The true impact of automation and globalization is not people losing their jobs to the robots, but rather the tens of thousands of jobs that would never have been hired locally in the first place because of globalization and automation. We are competing with 2 billion new entrants into the global labor force worldwide, most of whom can work for less than what can be lived on locally. And soon, a lot of good-paying work, like administration, accounting, all manner of industries affected by artificial intelligence, will have the cost of that sort of work trend nearly to zero, and no one can compete with that. If we can collectively face the facts and recognize that this trend is happening now, a basic income will become a moral and economic imperative. It will be the best way to ensure that our remarkable economy can work for everyone. We are here today as business leaders to tell you that a basic income will grow the economy. It will stimulate spending. Those who have the least proportionally spend the most, and that ends up back in local businesses. What could be more pro-business than preserving and expanding your customer base? A basic income will encourage more entrepreneurship. How many Steve Jobses are out there stuck trying to feed their families? I didn't grow up with a lot of money, but in my mid-20s, I was fortunate enough to be part of a startup that allowed me to buy an investment property. Your 20s can be a financially precarious time, but because I had a basic rental income, I had the confidence and security to quit and start my own business and create jobs. A basic income is how people can take their futures into their own hands. We'll see an economy that will reach its true hidden growth potential because we will unleash the entrepreneurial capacity of our citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, a basic income will add confidence to the economy and preserve our self-reliance. Self-reliance is one of our most cherished values, the covenant that people who work hard should be able to get ahead. I ask you, how can you maintain self-reliance if the only jobs available are low-income jobs that are often not even paying a living wage? A basic income is how we can maintain self-reliance in a future of no or low-paying work. Consumer confidence will be enhanced, helping us through recessions. As a society, we will likewise be more confident. You will know that no one is structurally stuck in poverty. You will know that you can take a step back and take risks, like switch cities to where the jobs are, or take a course to improve your skills, or take an unpaid internship. Everyone will have the confidence to invest in the long-term outcomes in their lives. We won't see universal basic income as welfare or social assistance. It would replace the welfare bureaucracy with simple cash payments, distributing power to people directly. It would be something we could rely on without shame, just as today we rely on roads and public health care, public police protection. Today, if you injure yourself, no one would say that you're not self-reliant because you used a hospital and didn't pay for it. Similarly, there would be no shame in using this money, no government lines to wait in. Basic income is not a handout, it's a head start for everyone. To conclude, a basic income is a way that we can make sure that these structural changes work for everyone so that no one is left in precarity, like my father and uncle were when the rug was pulled out from under the feet of Ontario's manufacturing sector. Collectively, we are asking that the Ontario Basic Income Pilot be reinstated. While we have no partiality to the scheme designed by the previous government, we do feel it's good enough to test the main theses of basic income. So it's urgent that we do this. Thank you very much.